None other than Ariel Emanuel, the brother of Rahm Emanuel, who Obama chose as his White House chief of staff. Rahm Emanuel was on the board of directors of America's biggest, most fraudulent lending corporation, Freddie Mac. Using taxpayers' money, Obama bailed America out of the financial mess that Freddie Mac and board member Rahm Emanuel helped cause by lying about its earnings. Despite holding hands with the devil, Michael Moore has an evangelical habit of paraphrasing the teachings of Jesus. He uses Jesus' teachings as gospel proof that capitalism is an evil that must be replaced. Would Jesus be a capitalist, asks Moore? Would Jesus approve of a system that allows the richest 1% to have more financial wealth than the 95% under them combined? According to Moore, Jesus was the first socialist. Jesus viewed tax collection as extortion, says Moore, and that's why he took a whip to the moneylenders in front of the temple gates. Moore invites his audience to ask themselves, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? He'd probably whip the hypocritical crap out of Michael Moore's sellout ass. One activist that wouldn't stoop to using Jesus to sell her message is Jewish warrior woman Naomi Wolf. But wait a minute. Didn't Naomi claim to have seen Jesus? In a 2006 interview with the Sunday Herald, Naomi Wolf spoke publicly for the first time about her vision of Jesus, who appeared to her as a hologram. She said it happened during a therapy session to treat writer's block. I actually had this vision of Jesus, Wolf insisted, and I'm sure it was Jesus. Did Naomi really see Jesus, or was it a publicity ploy to attract a Christian following? Wolf is a Rhodes Scholar, a feminist, a lecturer, and the best-selling author of The Beauty Myth. She was hired as an advisor to President Clinton and later as a consultant to Al Gore during his presidential campaign. Her job was to help target female voters. So what was her advice to Al Gore? Listen, Al, if you want to attract female voters, you're going to have to butch it up and start acting like an alpha male. As a leading feminist, how does Naomi Wolf feel about putting a woman like Sarah Palin in the Oval Office?
Naomi, what kind of presidential candidate do you think she would be?
I think she is even scarier now than I thought she was last fall when I warned people in a Huffington Post column about her having Evita-like qualities and being a front person for the same old special interests. I just wrote in the London Times that if you read her book, what you see is that she colluded in the geishaization of herself politically with the campaign. She touches this nerve, bear with me, she touches this nerve, as I mentioned, about speaking on behalf of conservative women. But again and again in the book, she hands over her strength. She lets herself be silenced. They write the script, and she objects to it, but she doesn't say anything. She lets them ply her with all these expensive clothes. She should know it's a graft, and that people from Hillary Clinton to Nancy Reagan have gotten in trouble for it. It's illegal, but she doesn't do anything about it. She blames other people for her decision-making. Again and again, she gives up the chance to be a strong leader, and I was glad to hear a credible leader. I think she should run as a Gore-type figure, as a public figure messaging, and she should serve her country by staying away from public office.
Naomi Wolf has issued a warning to Americans. She warns that what's happening in America today is exactly what happened in Germany under the Nazis in 1933. No matter what the excuses are, the freedom and rights of American citizens are being taken away, says Wolf.
Yeah, there was a lot of parallels between the bailout bill that was just passed and the Patriot Act. I mean, that sense of fear, we have to do something very quickly. The change from the original bailout bill being 4 pages to now close to 500 pages, where our elected representatives did not read that.
That's exactly right. I mean, the Patriot Act was rushed through with the same, as you say, sense of urgency. They were told they weren't patriotic if they didn't pass it. I've held the Patriot Act. It weighs as much as a newborn baby. It's like 7 pounds. And they were given like 6 hours in the middle of the night to read it and pass it. I think we're going to find with this bill, as I say, if it follows the historical pattern, that the president, especially with his personal army now, is in a position that he will be very difficult to be told no to. And that is the definition of a coup.
It's also interesting that the Army under Rumsfeld had changed its oath recently. So it has a completely new oath that...
the Warrior's Creed, right? Is that what you're talking about?
I believe so. And
to the Commander-in-Chief rather than the Constitution.
And to the mission, completing the mission is like the top priority.
Oh, rather than serving the Constitution?
Yeah. Well, it's the first thing mentioned.
Yeah.
So...
Wait, but can we just not stop there? I mean, we have to get out of the habits of thinking in a democracy. We have to understand that we're thinking in a police state. October 1st, the coup took place. October 1st, 2008, the coup in America took place. So we have a small window to act, but we have to realize we have to speed up our reflexes because we're in police state time. We're in coup time. I mean, we have to think like Pakistanis, and we're in an emergency. And one of the things you have to do, the only safe thing, is to arrest the people who have staged a coup. Now, Congress isn't going to do it. They're intimidated, and they don't have the powers. The Army can't do it unless they go outside the chain of command.
The only way they can pass this bill is by creating and sustaining a panic atmosphere. That atmosphere is not justified. Many of us were told in private conversations that if we voted against this bill on Monday, that the sky would fall, the market would drop 2,000 or 3,000 points the first day, another couple thousand the second day, and a few members were even told that there would be martial law in America if we voted no. That's what I call fear-mongering. Unjustified. Proven wrong.
I want to talk to you. Step by step, Americans are losing their grip on liberty. So says best-selling author Naomi Wolf.
The great dictators learned from one another what was essentially a blueprint for closing down an open society.
Wolf's book, The End of America, chronicles a fascist shift she says began under the Bush administration. But with a brand new leader promising to reverse the wrongs of his predecessor, could America's freedom still be under assault? Here's where RT's interview with Naomi Wolf begins.
I believe certainly that there's a fascist shift taking place, or rather that the foundation was laid during the Bush administration and that it has not been dismantled. Barack Obama is slowing things down, but Barack Obama campaigned on promises of restoring the rule of law, restoring the Constitution, rolling back, closing Guantanamo. And in many ways, the gestures he's made since he's been in office are symbolic. He committed to closing Guantanamo. I was there 2 weeks ago. They're building it up. That's right. They're military. He committed to restoring the rule of law. Military commissions are flatly illegal. They're running military commissions in Guantanamo for the alleged 9/11 terrorists and Omar Khadr, a Canadian detainee who was detained as a child. He hasn't rolled back the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act is still in force. The surveillance apparatus is still in force. For all we know, journalists were being surveilled under the Bush administration. For all we know, that's still continuing. He is pushing for preemptive detention, which is an absolute foundation stone of a police state. So we are by no means back to America, as the founders envisioned it, America premised on the Constitution and the rule of law. We're still in a very serious situation. What's frustrating, in a way, is that